have you ever had the feeling of knowing something without understanding where it comes from? Or felt like you don't quite belong in this world, as if you forgot something essential? Well, that is not a coincidence. It is a voluntary forgetting, and it's part of the incarnation process. And many of the people you meet along your path, they are not there by accident, but they play the role of true earth angels, and they are here to guide you back to your path if needed. Today, I am talking about reincarnation amnesia and the earth angels who help us remember what we came here to do on earth. Welcome to Mystical and Practical, the podcast that demystifies the soul's journey, the spirit world, and spiritual practices. I'm Melly Guidance, a past life psychic, certified Akashic Records reader, and channeling coach. Here, we talk about spirit guides, the Akashic Records, reincarnation, and everything that connects the seen to the unseen, all with both feet firmly on the ground. Ready to decode the spirit world and connect with your inner magic? Let's jump right in. Hi there, today I'm going to talk to you about reincarnation amnesia and what really happens when a soul incarnates into a new body and into a new life. So far on the podcast, I shared with you what happens when your soul is created, when you meet your soul family, your spirit guides, when you do your life plan, when you are preparing to come down on earth in an all new incarnation. And today, this is what we're talking about. So we're leaving the life plan part and we're coming to what happens when we incarnate. And we will explore together when and how our soul enters the body, what reincarnation amnesia actually is, and whether everyone forgets everything or not. And I will also share my flashes of the astral plane around the age of 7, 8. And I will share why we forget our soul plan and our pre-incarnation choices. I will also cover how our guides continue to guide us anyway, even though we've forgotten everything about the astral plane, and what we call earth angels, those humans who sometimes play a key role in our journey. And stay with me until the end because I will share how one person embodied a true earth angel for me at the exact moment I needed to leave a toxic relationship. But before we dive into the heart of the episode, I want to tell you something exciting. This week is my birthday, and I'm telling you this because it's a tradition. Because I am turning 46, I am offering 46% off my courses and my energy healings, except the bundles and the PDF guides. And I know it's kind of a running gag now. People are telling me, Melly, I cannot wait for you to get to 70 and 80 years old so we get a big discount. But for this year, I'm turning 46, so it's for 46% off. So if you are feeling called to read your Akashic Records, channel your spirit guides with confidence, heal and rebalance yourself with the elementals, my programs are on my platform called Melly Guidance Academy, and it's all video based. It's videos by me, with me. You get lifetime access. You do it at your own rhythm. So it's self-paced courses and healings. It's 100% created and taught by me. No AI, no PDFs made by AI. And my courses include meditations, exercises, practical protocols, and it gives you access to me during your journey as well. So that is 46% off. You do need to enter a code, and the code is 46 special, all lowercase, no spaces. And this promotion is running from now, February 17th, all the way through February 22nd. And of course, the link and promo code are in description. Okay, so let's get into the heart of this episode. So, first, what happens when the soul enters the body? So, before you incarnate, you actually choose when you enter your body. And of course, there are some choices regarding to the time when you will enter your body relating to astrology and all of this, but that is not my purview. What I do know, I've heard it in a ton of NDEs. This is near death experiences or regressions into past lives and into what happens in between lives. I've also read about it in Ainsley MacLeod's books, in the book by Michael Newton, which is The Soul Journey by Michael Newton. And what happens is that you get two choices. Either your soul enters the body during the pregnancy, and that's a rare choice. Or either you join with the body at the moment of birth, which is very much more common. So first, if your soul joins during the pregnancy, it means it joins in the fetus phase. And that is quite rare because it's more introspective. It's quite slow, and people talk about it as being extremely boring. People make, or rather souls make this decision of incarnating in entering into the body during the pregnancy when they have had a previous life that is quite rocky, where they made bad decisions, probably committed like hateful crimes or something like that, and they want an extra moment of reflection and introspection. And when I say extra, it's because everyone does that on the astral plane in between lives. We do our life review, we speak with our spirit guides, we go to Earth School, consult our Akashic records. And so those people want an extra moment. It's kind of like a moment of atonement. It's very slow, very boring. There's absolutely nothing to do but to be in this contemplative introspection state. And very rarely do souls choose that. What is way more common, I would say like 95 to 99% of the time, is to choose to enter the body at the moment of birth, which is literally when the baby comes out of the womb. And so this is when the soul just enters energetically into the body. And what's certain is that human consciousness and the physical brain cannot hold the full memory of the soul without overload. What I mean here is that just think about all the trauma that you've went through up until now. So your childhood and your adulthood up until now, you've had some trauma. Imagine knowing about all the trauma of all your past lives, and I'm sure everyone has killed at least one in their lifetimes. Imagine being able to remember all of this, all of the trauma, all of the karma that is accumulated, all the instances on the astral plane. There would be an overload. Like, you couldn't deal with that emotionally when you're in a physical body. And this is why there is reincarnation amnesia, meaning that you won't be remembering all the details of your past life, your soul family, your spirit guides, and most importantly, your soul plan. So reincarnation amnesia is not a punishment. It's not an accidental forgetting. It's a protective and incarnational mechanism, if you wish. And when I speak about that moment that the soul enters the body and we forget where we come from, we forget what home truly is, I often think about the movie Soul that tries to imagine how it is like. So that's an animated movie. I think it's from Pixar. So if you're interested and you haven't watched it, it's a very good movie. And it gives an idea of what it could be. So imagine arriving in a new life, a new body, and you remember all your past deaths, your past lives, all your losses, all your karmic vows, all your previous identities. It would be impossible to fully live here, feel that you have agency, that you have free will. And now you might wonder, well, does everyone experience total amnesia? And the answer is no. Most souls arrive with emotional remnants, innate talents, unexplained fears, and a strong sense of mission. And that usually happens with old souls with a spiritualist soul type, because with the spiritualist soul type, you always kind of feel like you are linked to something bigger. And if you don't know what the soul types are, you can check out my episode on soul types, and I'm going to link it below. And also, that often happens in children under 5 years old because they are so close to being born and so close to the astral plane still that they still have some reminiscence of the astral plane. And we see that in videos that talk about this, children saying to their parents, or imagine a little boy saying to his dad, "Oh, in our previous life, I was your dad and you were my son. And we all met in a circle and we decided that we would exchange roles for this time." Or sometimes you have videos of NDEs that talk about this. I watched a fascinating video last year. It was in my stories, so you may remember about it. But a young boy, when he was really young, was remembering how he was on the Titanic. And he was actually an engineer. I think he engineered everything, and he was very nervous because he kept saying all those people in the boiler room, they were the first to perish, and he felt very responsible. And the parents were saying, "Look, he's so young. We never talked about the Titanic. He never saw anything on a series or television about the Titanic, and everything that he's explaining, it's so specific, and he has engineered terms." And they went and consulted with experts about this, and they were like, "Wow, a child so young couldn't remember, couldn't know about those engineered terms. Like, that's impossible. Parents weren't engineers or anything." And so in young children, they may remember parts of their past lives or past life trauma. And that hasn't happened to me in this way, but I do had flashes of the astral plane when I was about 7-8 years old. And I remember 2 times. There's one time I'm playing, I'm in front of the patio door, I'm looking at the sky, and I'm like, I come from up there. And up there are people that I know, but why am I here on Earth? So I'm conscious that I come from somewhere else, and I'm conscious that I forgot something. And around the same time, I remember I'm in 2nd grade in the classroom, teacher is talking, and I remember I incarnated here to do things, and I cannot wait to be over with school and to be an adult, and I just want to fast forward time. I want to do all those things. I don't know what they are, but I cannot wait. And I am counting the years. I'm like, okay, I'm in 2nd grade, so I still have, so 4 years. I'm in Quebec, so it's like 4 years of elementary school, and then secondary school, and then CEGEP. And I know I want to go to university, and oh boy, I don't want to go to university for too long. I cannot wait to be an adult and have my life and do something. So these were flashes that I personally had. And the reason why we forget the astral plane and our past lives and our soul plan is in order to live the human experience without bias and make real choices and have our free will and feel, love, doubt, fall, and rise again. And forgetting does not mean being abandoned. When we need reminders of where we come from and why we're here, when we drift off from our life plan, our spirit guides are here to lead us back on track. Even with reincarnation amnesia, our spirit guides remain active. And they work through our intuition. Actually, the voice of our intuition is the voice of our spirit guide. So that inner voice that you kind of hear in your mind, that's your spirit guide speaking through what we call intuition. And they also come through for us through synchronicities, key encounters, even obstacles that force us to change directions. And sometimes they work through other humans. And those other humans at that time are considered to be earth angels. And I know that not everyone uses that term equally. And I will share with you what my spirit guides have shared with me. And it also is explained in Ainsley MacLeod's book. I'm forgetting the name of his second book, but I think it comes through The Old Souls Guidebook. There you go, by Ainsley MacLeod. I will think about linking it in the show notes. And an earth angel is actually an ordinary person. Could be you, could be your neighbor, a friend, someone that you meet at the grocery store. Who knows? You can be one, you may have been one, and you might be one in the future. It's someone who consciously or not, but most of the time unconsciously, embodies a precise role in your soul journey, or says a key sentence without even realizing it, and very often without remembering it. And often it's a member of your soul family. So if you don't know what a soul family is, you can go back and listen to episode 2. I will link it in the show notes. And so this member of your soul family becomes a catalyst for change. But it's not always a member of your soul family. It can be simply a random person as well. And you too, as I said, you will be an earth angel for someone, probably several times in your life. And you'll say something that gives them a complete new perspective. And often you won't even remember it because it was your soul guides speaking through you, or rather, probably it was their soul guides speaking through you. You were channeling the message, and because you were in this channeling space energy, you're not remembering it because the message just passed through you. You didn't think the message, it just passed through you. So when we receive a message from an earth angel, it's a message from our spirit team. And our soul guides use earth angels when we cannot receive their messages directly. And this can happen when we're exhausted, depressed, anxious, or in a very dark mental state, which means that we're vibrating too low to perceive what they are trying to transmit. Or sometimes we simply do not want to hear it, and we need someone, a human, physical someone on earth to say it, so it lands more powerfully, but also so we believe it. Because let's say it, sometimes when we get something through our intuition, because it comes from nowhere, sometimes it's hard to believe it. But when it comes through someone who says it, it's kind of more concrete. So you may think about it. Has this happened to you? Now, let's segue to a question from an audience member. We have a question this week from Bettina, and Bettina wants to know, how can we be sure that we're in the presence of an earth angel? Well, Bettina, the truth is you almost never know in the moment. An earth angel isn't recognized by what they say, but what they awaken in you. Feeling like maybe a breath of fresh air, like you know what you want to do, feeling like you have this epiphany. But I'm going to give you some recurring signs. So, the arrival of the earth angel coincides with a turning point in your life. That may be a period of doubt, transition, darkness, a breakup, or a major life decision. And their presence creates a clear before and after. I'm sorry. It's the winter and I'm having a sore throat. So let's take that again. Their presence creates a clear before and after in your journey, even if they don't stay long. And often they don't stay long. And the earth angel reminds you of something essential. They may remind you of your worth, your strength, your truth, your intuition, of course. And they don't try to save you, to control you, or convince you, because most of the time they're not even realizing what they're saying or doing, or they're not even remembering what they said. But their simple presence restores inner clarity. And their departure may be quick, even sometimes confusing, but the impact they leave is lasting. Often, only in hindsight, you say, oh, that person wasn't meant to stay. They were there to help me remember. They were there to help me get back on track and truly be who I am. And most importantly, an earth angel is not necessarily aware of their role. They act by following their own inner impulse, if you wish, while your soul fully recognizes why the encounter has happened. And sometimes the real question isn't, was that an earth angel? But rather, what did that encounter allow me to become again? So here I'm going to share a personal story with you. Many people leaving a relationship or needing to leave one encounter an earth angel as a rebound. And that happened for me. After nearly 3 years in a toxic relationship, I knew I had to leave that person, but I didn't yet have the strength. That person was very controlling, or rather manipulating, and I would even say that I got brainwashed in this relationship. And now that I channel my spirit guides and I've explored this past relationship with them, they actually told me I was only supposed to stay for a few months with that person to learn a lesson and then move on. But I got caught in it. Actually, I think after a few weeks or months, I almost left that person but came back to the relationship. And I wasn't able to get out of the relationship. So after more than 3 years, I felt like I needed to breathe. I felt like a shift. But I wasn't able to realize that what needed to happen was a breakup. And I had never left anyone in my life. I had been the dumpy, but never the dumper. So I couldn't even imagine being in that position. And that is when a short relationship entered my life. I had a savior there. I had what I recognize now, an earth angel. So this relationship wasn't meant to last. It was there to rebuild my confidence, to remind me who I was, to give me the courage to leave what was destroying me at the time. And because of that encounter, I was able to detach, to enter a more conscious period of singlehood, and to truly get to know myself. And only after that did I meet my husband. And my husband had the same thing happen to him. He had a while. He was single for a while before he met me. So I was single. I've been single for 3 years before I met my husband. For him, I think it was more like maybe a year and a half. It was shorter, but we both recognized that that was an immense gift. And I remember when, I had this relationship with an earth angel. It was short. But the fact that I felt in love with that person helped me leave the other one. And this person actually was the one to stop the relationship. And I realized afterwards, when I heard about them, I think that I was an earth angel for that person too, because I helped them to navigate their identity and all of that. So I think we were both helping each other. And I remember, like, I was completely heartbroken, sorry. It felt like the end of the world. I had very dark thoughts when that person left me. And I encountered a woman who was older than me, and she was telling me how, she had been single for 5 years before meeting someone else. And I was like, 5 years? That's so bad, being single for that long. And I had been single for 3 years before meeting my husband. But that allowed me, and him as well, because as I said, he was single for a long time, that allowed us to truly find who we are, our independence, what we want to do in life. And it showed us that we want to meet someone, not someone that will complete us, but someone that will be an equal, that we will navigate life with. And, looking back, I can see how that earth angel who came into my life was an immense, immense gift. Okay, so before I let you go, I just want to remind you, it's my birthday. I'm turning 46, which means 46% off as a birthday promo. If you want to take a course with me, a healing, that's all on my platform, Melly Guidance Academy, from now until February 22nd. Promo code and the link is in the description. Okay, so now that you know more about reincarnation amnesia, its purpose, I'll leave you with this question. Have you ever met someone who played a key role in your journey? Without even staying long in your life, or without even you truly knowing them. Maybe it's just someone that you met at the grocery store who told you something. And in other words, do you believe you've encountered an earth angel? Or do you suspect that you've been an earth angel for someone else? So I said I would leave you with this one question, but I'm actually asking you a bunch of questions. It's just to lead you on track and make you think about earth angels, and if you've met one or if you've been one for someone. Let me know in the comments. I truly love reading your stories, and as always, thank you for being here, and I will see you very soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Mystical and Practical podcast with Melly Guidance. If this episode spoke to you, please subscribe to the channel and leave some stars, a thumbs up, or a comment. It truly helps to share the podcast with other old souls seeking a deeper understanding of the spirit world. If you're interested in getting an Akashic Records reading, a tarot reading, or joining one of my online courses, you will find all the details at mellyguidance.com. This podcast was edited by plcm.ca, and the original music was composed by record.bandcamp.com. Until next time, remember, we are all souls having a human experience, and we can all be mystical and practical.